Hello, welcome to this video by coding-bootcamps.com. Today's video we're going to talk about how to define a class in Python. So the reason you'd want to use a class in Python instead of just creating like list objects or things like that is because it organizes your information a lot more. It lets you write information and manage objects in a lot less code. And everything that's associated with the objects you create all belong to that class. And it just makes it a lot easier to manage your objects. So if you're looking at the course docs, and again, if you haven't taken our Intro to Python course, you want to check out this link. If you copy and paste this link, it'll take you to our Intro to Python course, and then you can get started with the more basic stuff, like what is a list, what is a loop, things like that, because this is a more advanced course. But if you're looking at the course docs, you see this example where we have the names of employees from like the Starship and Star Trek. So you have James Kirk, he's age 34. His title is Captain, and his ID number would be 2265. We have Spock is Spock. He's age 35. His position is Science Officer. And his ID number is 2254. Then you have McCoy. His name is Leonard McCoy. Oops. He's a Chief Medical Officer. Let's just give him an age. Let's say he's 36. And he's got ID number 2266. So I just created 3 lists to define 3 different employees. But this is kind of inefficient because every time I want to create a new employee, I have to create a new list. And the information isn't really that organized because these lists they're not necessarily connected to each other in any way. I just created 3 separate lists. And creating functions could be kind of annoying with these kind of lists too, because those lists wouldn't be related to these, those functions wouldn't be related to these lists in any kind of a way. So what I could do instead is I could define an employee class like this. Not define class. Computer's really slow today. So you use the class keyword, you use the name of the class and then colon, and then just like with a function, you don't need parentheses. But just like with a function, everything that's indented below it will belong to that class. So employee is like the name of the object, and then you define variables that go with that object, and you define any functions that can operate on those variables. So if I want to create an employee class, then I need a name, I need an age, I need a position, and I need an ID number. So the way I would do that is I would define an initializer. And we do name, age, position, and ID. So we also need these. We need self.name equals name, self.age equals age, self.position equals position, and we need self.id equals ID. So this is called the constructor of the class, and then every time I want to create a new object of the class, just like if you're creating an integer, or you're creating a string or something like that, anything that's passed in to the constructor of the class will automatically get assigned to these variables depending on what the position I put them in. So what I mean by that is I created an employee object in my main program, and I called it employee1, and I use the constructor. So if I do capital employee in parentheses, and then I fill in these four variables in these parentheses, it's going to assign those variables to all 4 of these within the instance of that class object. So let's say I created an employee and his name's Michael. His age is, let's say, 27. His position is assistant captain. Let's say his ID number is 2200. So I created an employee object here using the class constructor, and I passed it these 4 variables. So name is the first variable over here, age is the second variable over here, then the third variable is position, the fourth variable is ID number. So I created an employee object and then I stored it in employee1, just like you would create an integer object and you would store it in X or something like that. And now this would be in the main program, and it kind of used this template or this format to create the object. And now if I wanted to create member functions that can use these member variables and operate on them, I can do it like this. I can do define, let's just say print info, and that's going to print all this information about a specific employee. I could do a print statement. So print name of employee, and we'll do plus ID, self.id, plus name of employee has the name, plus self.name, and the position. So I just made a print function that prints information about the employee, and it refers to all the information that is stored in that employee. So you might be wondering what the self keyword is. What the self keyword is it refers to a specific instance of that class. But the reason you need to put it in the general class like template or the general formatting of the class is because when you're creating functions that use the variables that are defined in the constructor, the self keyword will always refer to one instance of that class. It's not going to refer to the generalized class, if that makes sense. So you need the self keyword because you need to refer to the object, not the class as a whole. So you don't need to put like name, age, position, ID up here because you just have the self keyword and it's going to refer to the instance of the class. And then you'll put like self.id, self.name, and it's going to refer to these variables. So already we're saving time because we're creating a new function and we don't have to redefine what we're passing in as variables because the class is just going to do that for us. So I have an employee class and we defined it up here. We have all these member variables, so these are all variables that go with the class object. And then we have a print statement that's going to print information about the employee. Okay. So I define the employee class up here, and then if I want to create an employee object, I do it in one line like this. It's very short, and I've already got an employee object with 4 attributes. And then if I wanted to use the print function, I could just do employee1 dot print info. And then if I run my code, I had it down here to comment this out. Okay, I run. So the name of employee 2200 has the name Michael and the position assistant captain. And then if I created another employee, let's just give him the name Raphael, the age 34, position, let's just say janitor, and let's just say 2000. Or let's give him a better position. Let's just say he's, I don't know what other positions are. I picked janitor because I don't know what other positions are on the starship. Just put a comma. And then employee2.printinfo. So you run. And then down here you can see employee 2200 has the name Michael and position assistant captain, and the name of employee 2000 has the name Raphael and the position janitor. So it's very, very easy now to create new employee objects and use functions that go with it. So you can create as many member variables and functions as you want. You just keep them all indented under the class, and then they work with that class. So I hope that was a good explanation of how to work with classes. This is a basic introduction. We're going to get into it a lot more about how to use classes efficiently in our next video. And again, if you haven't taken our Intro to Python course, use this link at the top. That'll go over the more basic stuff like loops, like how to use lists, things like that, and how to create them, because this is a more advanced video. So thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye.